To our last info session for today, which is dedicated to our program in medicine. I also would like to point out that medicine program is not a simple bachelor's program because it's a joint bachelor's and master's program in English that lasts 6 years. So this program is a little bit different from our other bachelor's programs that were introduced today. And today with me, I have Rene Karner and Kadri Weper, who are going to introduce the program, and they're going to show you the slides and tell you more about medicine, about curriculum, and they describe everything what you will need to know about the program. And also I have here Aziza, who is going to share her student experience because she's studying currently this program, so she will also share her perspective. I also would like to remind you that we are having this wonderful opportunity to leave your questions. So if you are watching us from Workshop, you can see that next to the info session in medicine, then there is a Q&A button where you can write your questions, and then we are going to answer them online. Or if you are watching us from YouTube, or if you are watching us from Facebook, then you can just comment under the video, and we also will try to answer these questions as well. Also, I would like to ask you not to leave right after the info session, because after the info session, we are going to have online tours around the University of Tartu campus. And we are also having a tour in Biomedicum building, where actually the medicine program is taking place. So please stay with us and you will see more how the building looks inside. So I guess that would be it from my side, and I will give a floor to our speakers who are going to introduce medicine. So please, Rene and Kadri, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Anja. So hi, I'm Kadri, and I'm the Academic Affairs Specialist in the Faculty of Medicine.
Hello, my name is Rene, and I am the head of the Dean's Office. And as it said, medicine cures diseases, but only doctors can cure patients. And Tartu University is in Estonia the only place in Estonia where you can study medicine, and you can study in English as well. Afterwards, our students will describe how it will be.
Okay, so a few words about the program. As it was said before, it's an integrated bachelor's and master studies program, and the duration of this program is 6 years. After graduating, you'll get a degree in medicine. The language of instruction is English, but some knowledge of Estonian language is also required to communicate with local patients. The tuition fee for our program is 12,000 euros per academic year, or 6,000 euros per semester, and we don't have any scholarships or tuition waivers.
Our studies are very specific, and they are held in course system. This means that they are in all the subjects are predetermined order. Let's say in first year you have anatomy and biology and so far, and you can't go to the next year if you haven't done all the exams from the first year. So this is quite important to keep in mind, and yes, this could be hard.
The program consists of compulsory courses mostly, but we also have elective and optional subjects in our curriculum. And elective courses can be selected from a list of courses, but optional subjects can be taken from any faculty from the university. We also have Estonian language courses that our first and second and third year students take to be able to communicate with the patients.
Now, some words about the application deadlines. The deadline is 15th of April. And the final admission results will be available from 25th May, and we have the entrance interview via web in 11th of May. If in case we have a lot of candidates, then there could be more dates as well. And the academic year starts in 29th of August, and we are all welcoming you here. About the admission more. This year we are a bit different admission program. We have a BMAT test. This is new this year. And unfortunately, in case you haven't registered to the BMAT, you can't do it anymore. But hopefully you all have done it already. If you have this biomedical admission test scores, then the next thing you should do is motivational letter. And afterwards, the best ones will be asked to the entrance interview, which is, as I said, on 11th of May.
We accept 24 students each year. So right now we have about 150 international students in all 6 years. All the 24 students are divided into 2 groups because we believe that studying in smaller groups is more effective. The competition is about 9 or 10 students per study place, and our program has the highest competition among the international programs in University of Tartu. So our studies are basically divided into 2. We have preclinical courses and clinical courses. The first 3 years is what we call preclinical studies. And these studies are held mainly in these 2 buildings that you can see in the pictures, Biomedicum and Chemicum. They are located very nearby in the same campus, so as all our buildings.
And from the 3rd year, spring semester, you are going to Tartu University Hospital. Hospital is renewing himself. It's already very new buildings. We have the simulation center, so you can study with patients, but already we have clinical dolls or something like that, I think, where the students can practice. And yes.
So in their 6th year, our students need to complete clinical practice. The clinical practice consists of 5 parts. We have surgery practice, internal medicine practice, emergency medicine practice, family medicine practice, and elective practice. So the students spent the whole year in different healthcare institutions or hospitals in Estonia or anywhere abroad.
And after you have done the clinical practice, there will be final examination. And after that, you are the doctor. In Estonia, we say üldarst. It means just general doctor. And if you want to, and if you find Estonia a nice place to stay, you can prolong your studies here. You can take postgraduate specialist medical training. We call it residency training. It about 4 to 5 years, depend from the specialty. And we have 44 different programs. These programs are held in Estonia, but after 6 years in medical studies, you already could speak in Estonian quite well, I think. The benefits of the program. If you come here after 6 years, you can speak in Estonian language. You can have a permanent living permit if you're foreign resident, and after graduation, you have the document which certifies the registration in Estonian Health Board as a physician. And as I said, the future is yours. So, will it be easy? No. Worth it? Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I will encourage you to leave your questions because this is the right place to ask your question from the specialist who can immediately give you advices and answer your questions. But now we are going to move to students' presentation, and we will see how difficult is it for actually students to be enrolled to this program and how the studies are conducted as well. So Aziza, the floor is yours.
Hi, okay. Yeah, so my name is Aziza Bello, and here's my perspective. So just a quick introduction. I'm currently a 5th year med student, and I'm from the UK, and here are some of my hobbies, like photography and language learning, I guess, yeah. So I entered in 2017, September, obviously, and I guess the structure of the course has been outlined already. But yeah, so first 2.5 years, we were in 2 groups when we were doing preclinical subjects. Obviously, those were randomly assigned. And it was, I guess, one of the highlights of preclinicals was probably anatomy and the dissection course, especially. Also, I guess, let's say pharmacology was probably one of the harder subjects, which we learned in 3rd year. But yeah, it was all necessary for the clinical half. So that's the latter 2.5 or 3.5 years. And then that's when we get split into 3 groups and we get to actually choose our own groups. And unfortunately, like when I started the second half of 3rd year, the pandemic hit, so it wasn't really the greatest, but it was still, we still managed to have some in-person classes, so that was really nice. So just to say, because it's an international course, so here are some of the places where other international students are from. Most of them are from Finland, because like it's kind of like they have 5 med schools and it's kind of like a 6th option for them, but we do have people from all over the world, like Malaysia, obviously I'm from the UK, we have Japan, America, all these countries. And one thing I really like about our classmates are that, or about my classmates, are that there's quite a large age range. So there's many people in different stages of their lives. We have parents, we have people who have done master's degrees. I came straight from high school. And so we all have different perspectives when studying, and I think it's really nice to be exposed to such a range of people. Yep. And plus, the fact that we have a small, like it's only 24 max English students per year. So as you can see, this picture was taken like 2 years ago, and it's basically everyone. We're quite tight-knit. We get on quite well, and it's easier. Like if you have a large group of people, you might not know everyone, but we're like kind of like a family almost. So study experience. So in terms of English language, obviously I'm a native speaker, so coming to a country where English isn't the main language was like an adjustment. But everyone is more or less understandable, and everyone can more or less understand you as well. So obviously there are teachers with better English proficiency than others, but otherwise it doesn't really affect the experience that much. And what I really like about the teachers is that they're really willing to like fully explain things to you so that you can understand it sometimes, because some processes, they just don't click or you don't understand them well. But the teachers are always happy to like really delve in and make sure you understand. Or if there are other topics like not necessarily in the or that will come up in the exam, but it's still interesting and you want to know about, then the teachers are also willing to delve into these other topics, and you can have a really fruitful discussion and learn loads of things. So just some random bits about, I guess, while I've been at med school. For the most part, so the Estonian students and the English students are pretty much separate. There was one course about research work where they paired us up with the Estonian students, so that was nice, kind of feeling like properly integrated and getting to know some of the Estonian students. I made some friends that way. And also just saying like clinical years, feels a lot better than the preclinical years. Just finally putting the science into action and interviewing patients and applying all your knowledge to real people's lives, and being in the hospital kind of makes you remember, oh yeah, I'm a med student, I'm here to become a doctor, kind of thing. Because when you're just learning like sciences and biochemistry and stuff, the goal can kind of feel far away. So it's something to look forward to. Okay, so when I started, we only had the first 2 years of Estonian lessons, so I guess it's changed now. But we learned up to actually B1.2. I guess I was slightly off, but yeah. Because in third year, we do interview patients, and most of them don't speak English because, the older generation may not necessarily speak English, so it's nice to learn another language. Yeah. So as was mentioned earlier, we have the chance to have optional courses. Well, we need to take optional courses, but I really like the fact that we're not limited, because I think in other countries outside, like, non-medical courses don't give you credits. So I've taken things like Korean language. If you can see, last semester I took a course in the philosophy department about social media and democracy, and the ability to just learn all these random subjects and be a more well-rounded individual, because it's easy to be lost in medicine, and obviously once you graduate, you're just going to be a doctor. So being able to explore other interests, I think, is very important so that you can have like an actual life outside being a med student. So yeah, okay, so the buildings have been explained already, but that's basically where we have classes. Oh, here's another picture of my English cohort. We took it in first year, very nostalgic. But yeah, and also we have the language classes in the city center, which is quite a distance away from all the other science buildings and the hospital. But it's nice to be in a different building from time to time. And then obviously as a student, you can study in the university library, in cafes around the city, and also the other faculties. Like I could just walk into the chemistry faculty or the computer science faculty and just go to the library, and everywhere is more or less open for you to study. There's no shortage of places. So what have I been involved in while I've been here over the last 4.5 years? There are 2 med student associations. Well, so there's one Estonian med student association, and they're really they do a lot of work, and they're around the country, around Estonia, and in terms of educating the public. And it's really nice to be part of this organization. Although, obviously, everything is in Estonian, so if you want to join it, you really have to firm those language skills, if that makes sense. And also the majority, so obviously the majority of the international students are currently Finnish, and so they have their own med student organization for Finnish students in Estonia, in Tartu, but it is open to everyone. Like, I'm part of it, and they're very welcoming, and they do try to integrate non-Finnish speakers. Like, there are events that happen in English, and like, for example, this picture is from a very recent event where they were celebrating their 25th anniversary, and so yeah, it was really fancy, as you can see, and a very eye-opening experience to Finnish culture, I guess. I also currently take part in research, so I wanted to become a neurologist or psychiatrist, something to do with the brain. So I am currently working or taking part in neuroscience area of research, and it's been really interesting, to say the least. It's not very clinical. Obviously, I'm working in a lab, and so it was a nice experience, like a completely different experience to medicine and being in lab meetings and all these things. And we got to present, that's my friend in the top picture, presenting our work at the science conference that they hold here in the university every year, I think. Yeah, every year. And hopefully I'll be presenting this year. We'll see if it happens. Yeah. I've also been part of the Korean Culture Club. the bottom picture was from a play that we did 4 years ago. A Korean play, of course, although there were subtitles for non-Korean speakers. And they do webinars and stuff. The Erasmus Student Network holds events for exchange students, but also just any student, really. I'm not an exchange student, and I've participated in so many events over the years. So it's really open to anyone, and it's definitely a great way to make friends and really have more of a well-rounded student life instead of being buried in the books all the time. And during COVID, the hospital requested the help of healthcare students, so med students and nursing students. They asked some of us to come and disinfect like the isolators that they were bringing COVID patients in for, or potential COVID patients in the emergency department. So that was it was an interesting experience. It was very early in the pandemic. And yeah, so that top picture was from before like the mask mandate. We weren't breaking rules. This was like back in March. So, but yeah, so it was a very interesting experience. Actually, like, it was proper work and working in the hospital, being in the hospital outside of classes. Obviously, we didn't have classes at the time. But yeah, it was nice to work with the emergency department staff and just being in that clinical environment. So what lessons have I learned so far from living here? Cultural exchanges. I am from London, which is admittedly very diverse. And so when I came here at the ripe old age of 19, I did think that I was somewhat exposed to a lot of different cultures, but here just gave me another whole different variety of cultures to be exposed to. We don't really learn, well, I haven't seen that many people from like the Baltics or Central Asia in my parts of London, and so it was really nice to find out about all the cultures in this area, like people from Kazakhstan, etc., coming on exchange, and listening to their stories and their cultures has been really interesting and eye-opening for me. And also coming to a whole different country where English isn't the main language by myself on the other side of the continent was quite an experience. I never really had to travel far for my education. It was all within walking distance, and now I'm just literally just living alone. But luckily, thank goodness for the internet, I can just video call home and stuff. Luckily, it hasn't been that much of an issue, especially because I have good friends around me and a support network. So yeah, make friends, it's very important. And some main principles that I've, I guess, come to realize even more. So this seems like a cliche, but the world is so big and so small at the same time. I say it's small, obviously, because of the technology, modern technology allowing us to fly all over the world wherever we can, wherever we want in like less than a day, and seeing all these cultures from international students being concentrated in one area and finding out so much about the world. And then when you find out about the world, you see how big it is and how diverse our experiences are. And now I have more excuses to go to different countries because of all the friends I've made. So like, for example, I went to like one of the Canary Islands just to visit a friend because yeah. And also, like I mentioned earlier, the wide variety of ages in our course. So it really showed me that there is no rush, or even if you pursue a career and you decide that it's not for you, it's never too late to change your mind and do what you actually want to do. Even if you've done, for example, accounting for like 10 years and you realize, I don't want to be an accountant anymore, I actually want to be a doctor, for example. Even if it's a super long process, if you really want to do it, then you should at least try so that you know that you can't regret any of your decisions and you've done what you can to be satisfied. So, yeah. We made a little blog on the university blog website. If you want to check out, the link is there. I don't know if you can copy paste or screenshot or something. But yeah, thank you for listening. I'm done.
Thank you very much, Aziza, for your presentation. And we are going to send this presentation after we are done with our event. So you will be also able to click the link and to check the videos, as I understood, the vlog, right?
It's a blog. It's written.
It's a blog.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can, you can be able to read the blog, and also you can be able to check the slides one more time if you're interested or have any other questions. So right now, I guess it's time to move to our next big part of this info session, which is a Q&A session. So we already have received some of the questions, and the first one would be, what other countries accept this degree? Maybe Rene or Katri?
All European Union.
Okay, good. Another question that we have to Aziza: how do you manage to combine social life and studies?
Yeah, it's quite hard. I think it depends on how you study, and I think you also need to learn how to study smarter, not harder. Like so if you're efficient with your studies and purposefully make time to relax, and try not to be a perfectionist also, because then you'll definitely not have time to rest. So purposely allocating time to rest or have fun with your friends or just go to see a random event is very important, even if you don't necessarily achieve everything you want to in terms of your studies. But obviously you should try and study as much as you can. But I think purposefully making that balance is very important.
Thank you very much. We have also a question about the biomedicum test. Could you tell a little bit more about this test?
Actually, no. But I think we can manage to have some links, and I think in our website, in university website, there is link to this test, and there is more information about it, where you can do it, how you can do it, what you should know for doing it well, and etc.
There is a little bit related question to this. Is it possible to take this test in my country?
Yeah, it's also, the information is available in this biomat test website, I think. And there's a huge list of the countries where you can take it, and I think due to COVID restrictions, they also allow to take it online. So, yes.
That's perfect. It's a little bit new for us because previously we accepted SAT test, but right now it's a new test that we will start only admission that we actually implemented during the admissions only this year. So yes. So if you have any questions about this test, so it would be the best to go to the program web page, and there you can find all of the information regarding this test. So another question that I accept: is it possible to go for exchange during studying medicine?
Yes, Erasmus exchange. University has exchange programs between other universities, let's say in Japan. I understand it's maybe in medicine, it's maybe not so common, but it is possible. And of course, sixth year, if you have this practice, you are welcome to go somewhere on your home country or somewhere else abroad. Yeah.
Thank you very much. A question about achievement scholarship. Is it possible to get it if you are studying medicine?
Do you know?
Achievement scholarship. I've never heard of this scholarship.
Yeah, maybe you can ask this question from admissions at ut.e more in details. That would be the best. What are the biggest advantages of the University of Tartu compared to studying medicine in other countries? So why our applicants should choose University of Tartu to study medicine?
Why did you choose Estonia?
I don't know. Well, I chose Estonia because of the vibes, which doesn't... like when I came to visit here, it was an area that I know that I would feel comfortable in. Other reasons I chose it because it was the best. Well, it's the only in the country, but also the best in the country. So I knew that the resources for it would be basically top notch in this country. Yeah, and in the league table for European universities, it's quite okay. So, yeah.
Yes, we have a good ranking also, so this is a good reason.
Worth to mention, of course. There is also a question to Aziza. What was the biggest culture shock for you moving to Estonia as a student in medicine?
I would say one of the largest cultural shocks I experienced was it's not necessarily a bad thing, but the patriotism for this country. I really like it. I think it's quite charming, actually. But for example, on my first Independence Day here, it was the 100th, so I guess I came good time. But hearing all the nationalistic songs and Estonian hymns about praising the country, like the fatherland and all these things, I really like it, especially because coming from the UK, we don't really. Not everyone is so patriotic about the country, and and also it makes sense, especially when you think about the history of the country and everything. So that was quite interesting difference when compared to my country. Yeah.
If I may ask, what the most Estonian things that you have done in Estonia?
The most Estonian thing, well, I joined a choir, so I think that would be quite, especially seeing how important singing is in Estonian culture, especially with the singing revolution in the early 90s. So I would say that's probably the most Estonian thing I've done.
Thank you very much. We have questions about transferring from other universities. So basically, if it's possible to transfer from other university to our medical program.
Unfortunately not, because most probably, the programs are different, the curriculums are different, so due to educational differences, we don't accept transfer students.
Thank you very much. Also questions about motivation letter. What should I write in the motivation letter?
On our webpage, and I think that in the Dream Apply or wherever you should submit the application, there is a point about what we would like you to write about. So about why University of Tartu, among all the others, how much chemistry, physics, biology have you learned before, etc. I don't know. Aziza, you also wrote motivational letter, I think. Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have some tips, for our future applicant, how to write a successful motivation letter.
Write it yourself.
Yeah, of course, definitely write it yourself. This was a very long time ago, though. But I think I wrote about some of my ambitions for after graduation. Wrote about Estonia itself, like what I knew about the country and why I was choosing the country. And also my motivations for medicine in general and my inspirations while I was growing up.
Thank you very much. Another question we have about internship. How difficult is to get internship in the University of Tartu clinic?
I think that, when you come from some other country, this is what they mean, I think. We accept interns first and from our partner universities. So
I guess more like if you're studying the program, if you get internship like at the clinics of the University of Tartu, being like enrolled as a degree student.
I don't know about international students, but I hope in case you are already know Estonian language, then I think it's not hard. Because I know Estonian students, there are a lot of them who are working in clinic, and I understand you're working as a volunteer, and if you want to, you probably can go to the,
Thank you very much. Question to Aziza. How good is your Estonian? How difficult is to study Estonian? Can you please comment on that as well?
My Estonian is... Okay, at the moment I'm like intermediate. I still have classes because I want to increase my proficiency even more. But I would say from the average Estonian conversation, I would understand like 70% of what's being said, so it's okay. I can take medical history from people. Yeah, but I'm still trying to improve it. Yeah.
Good luck for you.
Thank you.
We have some other questions about interview. So what should I expect from the interview?
This is the first this year as well as the BMAT test. What to expect? The one thing we are trying to understand how about your English. Some things the same as were in the motivational letter. I think it will be not too long, but don't worry, nothing scary. It is via web, so nobody bites you. Everything will be okay.
Thank you very much. So we have another question related to the admissions as well. Just a second. Is GPA is important while applying to medicine?
No, it's not. You have to submit your documents, of course, but it's PMAT, motivational letter, and entrance interview that we are calculating.
If I still study in school, can I still apply? So I guess the question is that the applicant doesn't have still certificate of secondary education.
If they are graduating this year, then yes, they can submit their documents later on after they have gotten them.
Thank you very much. Question to Aziza about accommodation. How difficult is to find accommodation in Tartu?
I live in the dorm. I think we got our admissions results relatively late compared to when you're meant to apply for accommodation, but I was still successful. Yeah, if you're too late, then you will have to look for flats outside the dorms. But I think everyone is more or less like able to get a place.
And they will get their results sooner this year, so they should have plenty of time to apply for a dormitory or whatever. Yeah.
And sooner than Estonians, so yeah.
So more chances to get a place in dormitory. Yeah, thank you. So next question is regarding the future career perspectives. So can I work in Estonia after graduation?
Yes, if you register yourself in a health board, yeah, it's you can do it, and you can go to the PhD studies, do some science, stay here in Estonia. Yeah.
What is the compulsory level of English language requirements?
I think it's P2, but if you successfully complete the PMAT test, then this is the one that actually confirms that your English is sufficient enough.
So basically for this program, the separate test is not required, so you don't need to be worried about that. So the biomedical test is basically a proof of knowledge of both biology basically, and then the English proficiency.
Yes, and the motivational letter also, that is in English, so this also proves your English.
Yeah, that speaks for itself basically. Yes, so another question. Just a second. What is compulsory level of Estonian?
On the first year, 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But while graduating, I think you have mentioned during your presentation
B2.
that maybe we can, yeah, B2. All right. Okay. So the question to Aziza just also came. Aziza, would you recommend to choose University of Tartu?
Yeah. Oh, wow, sorry. Yeah, I do. Especially if you're ready to come here with an open mind for new experiences. And yeah, I would recommend also, depending on like if you're from a totally different place to come here, then definitely. And if you haven't had much prior exposure to Estonia, like I didn't, a lot of people in the UK didn't really know that much about the country. So I feel like it was even better coming here with like no prior knowledge. But yeah, definitely.
There is also another question about how international is the program. It was already mentioned. I guess you also mentioned that you have a lot of Finnish students as well. But what other nationalities you have as well, if you?
Okay. So in my year alone, we have UK, New Zealand, Malaysia. In low years, we have Turkey, South Korea, Australia, the US, Japan, yeah.
So basically people from all around the world and all continents as well. So yes. Another question about can I study dentistry at the University of Tartu? I guess it means in English.
In English you can't. But afterwards you have finished 6 years of medicine, then you already know Estonian, then it's possible to come to study dentistry in Estonian as well, yeah.
There is also a question from a potential person to study residency. Is it possible to start residency at the University of Tartu?
Yes, but the residency is only in Estonian. This is the difference from the first 6 years, but yes, absolutely. And we have some our English program graduates studying here in residency programs.
How long does it last, the residency?
It depends on program, 3 to 5 years, mostly 4 and 5.
Also have one question about PhD. So do you have PhDs in English, and what programs do you have?
From this year, we're having a new program called Medicine and Sports, and there are 4 specialties: medicine, sports, and neuroscience, and pharmacy. And they are all can be taken in English as well. There is no restrictions. You can do it in English. Important thing that you should have a supervisor, and that, yeah.
Yeah, it's you can also visit the website probably, and you could see potential supervisors and maybe contact them before applying.
Yes.
Yes, there is a question also to Aziza. What are your plans after graduation?
Oh, I intend to go back to the UK to work as a doctor and live here. They, I think, still accept European medical degrees, even though Brexit. But yeah, it should be fine.
But would you like to stay in Estonia, or you decided already? So
yeah, I kind of had it in mind. I don't know. My mind is open to like be changed, but at the moment, not really.
Another question: can I work immediately after 6 years?
Yes.
Another question about languages: can I study other languages while studying medicine?
Yes, absolutely. As Aziza said, you learned
Korean.
Korean, yeah.
I took 2 semesters of Korean, and other people have taken Spanish and French. You can study whatever you want.
Oh, that's amazing. So you can just choose any languages that are offered at the university. And also, as Aziza pointed out, she also had some selective courses which were outside of curriculum. So it gives a better overview of everything as well. Okay, I can see that we don't have questions coming anymore. So if you still have any questions, you can write us. And otherwise, if you don't have questions, you can always also email to everyone who is right now on the stage, because you are going to receive the presentation. You have also name of the speakers in workshops. So if you have any other questions, you can also contact us. Or if you have any specific admission-related question, it's good to contact our admission office by writing to admissions@ut.ee. Yes. I think since we don't have questions anymore, I would like to thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you, our dear speakers, for introducing your program. Thank you very much, Aziza, for sharing your student experience. Thank you very much for being with us. Remember about the application deadline, which is coming quite soon, 15th of April. So don't forget to take a biomedical test. Hopefully you already registered for it. If not, then maybe you're looking.
See you next year.
See you next year. Yes. If you have any questions during this, still we have months, more than months, so you still can ask them. But we wish you good luck with your application. Good luck with your admissions. We hope to see you next academic year at our university. And also, I would like to ask you not to leave right now. We are going to have a short break, and then after we are going to continue with online tours around the University of Tartu campus, and then you're going to see how biomedicum and also chemicum, as I learned today, looks like if you would like to study medicine at the University of Tartu. So thank you very much and see you soon. Thank you very much for being with us today, and thank you very much for participating in this third day of the open doors at the University of Tartu. But we are done with our info sessions, and today we introduced our bachelor's programs in business administration, science and technology, and our joint joint bachelor's and master's program in medicine. I hope you received quite a lot of information that will be useful for you in the future, and you enjoyed our info session. But we are not finishing right now. We still have campus tours around the University of Tartu, and you can actually join us online and see how our buildings look inside. So please stay with us right now and enjoy watching the tours around the University of Tartu. And I would like also to mention that these tours are including the tours around University of Tartu Delta building, Chemicum, Physicum, Biomedicum, Institute of Technology, and also our dormitory. So this overview is going to be very useful for you if you're planning to study at our university and if you're planning to live in the dormitory. So I wish you the best of the luck. Thank you for being with us. Enjoy watching our tours, and see you tomorrow.
Hello, beautiful people. My name is Nmr. I'm a bachelor student of the Business Administration program, and today I'm gonna take you on a tour around the University of Tartu Delta Center. And for those who do not know, this is a beautiful place, and we're gonna embark on a fascinating journey around the many cozy study spots that you can find here and the unique architecture. And this is also a home to the Institute of Computer Science, the School of Economics and Business Administration, the Institute of Technology, Mathematics and Statistics, and also the Delta building is a center for entrepreneurship and innovation. And with its state-of-the-art architecture and being located in the heart of Tartu, this is an important landmark in the city, and it's literally just a stone's throw away from the several dormitories and also the Raekoja Platz in the center of the city. So this is very convenient for an always late and not a morning person like me. I believe if you are watching this video, you are very likely to be interested in how the typical classroom in Delta building looks like. So let's peek inside and take a better look at what the classrooms are. So the premises are, in short, very modern and spacious. And it's like a really great spot to soak up this knowledge and maybe even take a nap during the lecture, but we don't tell about it to anyone. And yeah, the place feels good. And there's also like interactive desks and so much more. But we're gonna also take a look at computer class later on, so you're gonna see how the seminars are conducted as well. All right, before we enter the library, check how cool is that. There are public printers available all around Delta building, so I believe there is one on every floor. And you can go online, like sign up, log in, upload your documents in PDF, choose how you want them to be printed, and then pick a printing location and just print them like right here, and that's very cool. But now to the library. All right, we're gonna try to be quiet. So the library is a great spot to study and also a silent retreat if you want to escape your roommates. You can find lots of books about mathematics, economics, and computer science over here. And it just feels great. I'm also going to show you that there are desktop computers available right here at your disposal if you want to study, for example, and have like bigger screens. But just a nice, cozy place with a great view, of course. What I also like about the University of Tartu is that it also tries to be a partner for Estonian entrepreneurs. There is the University of Tartu spin-off program, S2B Launchpad Incubator, and also Delta Sandbox program, Industrial MA program in IT, and many other things. And what I like about Delta Building is that it actually accommodates a lot of offices like Cybernetica, Statistics Estonia, Swedbank, and so on and so forth. So it actually brings this science-based entrepreneurship and research closer to the university students. And this is like really great. And maybe, who knows, you're gonna come here and also intern in one of these companies like some of my friends did. Also, there is a UT Startup Lab right over here. Shout out to them for organizing really great startup camps and accelerator programs and all kinds of entrepreneurial events. So I'm really grateful that there is a program like that can help you to test and kickstart and supercharge your ideas. And if you do not know, definitely check the entrepreneurial scene in Estonia, because there are like more than 6 unicorns right now. So if you have any like cool ideas, definitely this is your place to go and check it out. But surely it's not always about feeding your curiosity or soul. So if you're hungry or running short on time, you can always get a decent and fairly priced hot meal right over here. And I'll be lying if I didn't mention this view outside is lovely too. Right now we're about to enter probably the busiest place in the whole building. This area is usually crowded with lots of students and is always bustling. And you can always meet your friends and course mates right here. And it's a perfect place, to study, to cram for your exams or panic before exams, or, brainstorm ideas, chit chat, have fun with your friends. And for example, check this out. I love these honeycombs. It's perfect for group work, and it's very silent inside. You can switch on a light, do your group projects, come up with great ideas. And yes. So what else is great about this place? There are also private study spaces like this one. So for example, if you want something more private, you can always come here with your laptop or textbooks, whatever, and enjoy studying here as well. And another really awesome thing, in my opinion, is that this whole study area has this cool kitchen. We can check it out as well. So if you want to keep your engine running or, starving, want just to drink a tea or something, you can also come hang out in here. Anything you can think of, you can find in this place. Right now we're in a computer class, and that's where you will have seminars or other kind of lectures. And I just love studying with these big screens. It's very convenient, and there are also like 2 big projector screens as well. So you can see the whole process of what your lecturer is doing in your computer, and you can try to repeat and replicate, and it's just a really great place to study in. What you can see right now is a high-performing computing center. It provides the Baltic's largest computational infrastructure power for scientific research. And also, let's just see what is the design like across this whole hall. There are locker rooms there, different even more computer classes. All right, let's move on and let's try to get more understanding of the look and feel of the Delta building. So right now you see a second floor. There are even more computer classes right here, and also different laboratories, for example this digital laboratory or the robotics field over there. And generally apart from that, there are also the Internet of Things laboratory, the laboratory of computers, graphic and virtual reality. And while we also walk in, let me also share quickly a story behind the name of the Delta building. So Delta was chosen in a competition in 2016. There were over 170 name proposals, such as Iconicum, Logicum, Sigma, to name a few, but Delta was chosen because the building resembles a triangular shape, and also it symbolizes basically the energy for a center. And just generally look at it, I feel this is a very inspiring setting to get even more ideas and to study in. Right now we're on the third floor, and this is an office area where PhD students study and work, and also there's academic staff offices around. And here we are entering a chill zone for PhD students and staff to unwind, relax, have a cup of coffee. There's a ping pong table, like an open stage to play musical instruments, and all kinds of fun stuff right here. Also, even a PlayStation. Sometimes great ideas find us in the most unusual places. And one of these such places is definitely a balcony right over here. The university is not always about work and research, and you can always have some fun time as well. And this is definitely a place to go. Like this great balcony on the third floor. You can even do grill here during the summer, and the view here is just very gorgeous and inspiring. So if you want to get some fresh air, I definitely recommend to visit this place. We are in a Delta Sandbox area right now, and Delta Sandbox is a design thinking and digital product management program for MA students in the University of Tartu. And this is an experimental playground for interdisciplinary teams to come together, test their bold ideas, have a collaboration with product managers from great companies like Telia, Bolt, Pipedrive. Basically, students can have an opportunity to get a hands-on experience in product management by working on real-life challenges of these companies. And this is where they held their events. Chill as well. It's just another inspiring venue to study and come together, enhance your professional skills. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video and found our tour informative, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you around in Tartu, and especially in the University of Tartu Delta Center.
Hello, my name is Rauno, and I will be your tour guide for this building, which is the Institute of Physics of the University of Tartu, or in other words, the Physicum. And currently we are in the first room that you get to when you enter the building, which is the lobby. And as you can see, there are a lot of tables here, and this is the main place where students hang out, where they do their homework, and this is sort of like a socialization hub. And pretty much when the semester is going on, you can see students here all the time, even during the night. When you come here at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., you can see some students studying hard for their exams, and not only physics students or chemist students or material scientists who all together study in this building, but also doctor students who unfortunately cannot be in their own house because they are not allowed to be there during the night hours. But here it is possible. So we are going to see the first room that our lectures are being taken in. There are other rooms as well, that side and that side, but this will be our biggest room that you can have your lectures in. As you can see, this is quite big. It fits around 200 people, and it's quite necessary to fit 200 people around here because for us, the physicists, and our buddies, the chemists and material scientists, well, we are not so many, and we can fit here quite good. But when, let's say, doctor students or computer science students come here, well, they have their first year lectures, and then there are more than 200 of them. So every seat is filled. So as I have mentioned, this building is not only for physicists, but for lots of other people in the natural sciences curriculum as well. So quite a multicultural or multi-student building as well. Each student has these nice chairs for themselves, a table, a few outlets for the laptop. So quite a nice room where to have your lectures and look at the big screens where the lecturer has his notes. So this is the workshop. And everyone knows what is done in the workshop. So in here, students can get in touch with the practical side, get a hands-on experience. As you can see, there is, I don't know, some wave machine on the table, but there can be lots of things. I have seen people build like a vacuum cleaner here or some sort of cannons and all kinds of things. And we are quite well equipped here. And from these tools, we also have this all kinds of dangerous chemicals, that all kinds of, when science theater people rehearse their audiences, then all kinds of like elephant toothpaste can be seen here on the table, and lots of stuff like that. And next door, we also have the electronics lab or workshop or whatever you like to call it. So this is the place where you can do your soldering, work on your motherboard, whatever electronics related. And I have been in this workshop for a few times myself, because I took part in the Robotics competition. Me and my group mates built. This is just a frame, but me and my group mates built a cool basketball robot that had this frame kind of just like that, and it threw a basketball, and it was quite cool. We are now entering the Optics Lab, which is one of the many labs in this building, because first and foremost, Physicum is a building where science is done. So apart from the Optics Lab, we have like nuclear physics and nanophysics, atmospheric physics, ion crystals, name something else physics, because I can't remember all of those labs. But in short, there's lots of labs. And we are looking at the Optics Lab. And as you can see, well, lots of optics-related equipment lying around on the table. I'm sure there's at least 5 lasers here somewhere. And my personal hypothesis is that in every lab in Physicum, there's at least 1 laser. So far, every lab I've been in, there's been at least 1. And students can join these labs quite early on. I had my first experience on my second year, where we had a course that actually required us to work together with the lab, do kind of like a mini bachelor's thesis. And if you want, you can even join a lab on the first year and do like this world-grade science here. But apart from this more serious science, students can join these optional courses where you can do cool things. So this was the photonics project. This is my and my friend's personal project. Sadly, it doesn't work right now, but it's a laser music instrument. So when I would turn it on, there would be these lasers, and when I put my fingers there, you can do music. And another from my course mates. So this is Edward Munch's Scream, and the point is that when you talk really low, then it's kind of like blue. But when you do like that, then you get these bluer colors, and low, then it's redder. Right now, we are next to the students' favorite place, which is the students' room. And this is the students' favorite entertainment object, as you would say. We got this foosball table a few years back. Before the foosball, all we did was ping pong. But when the foosball table came, everyone sadly forgot about ping pong. Maybe partly because the ping pong table is in the cellar and the foosball table is not. But such are things. And we are entering the students' room itself. And as you can see, once again, lots of places to just relax. Some people sleep here occasionally. To study, chat with your mates, all kinds of things you need to do to relax, study, and feel good about yourself. Usually there are a lot of cool drawings on on that as well. The more stress students have, the cooler pictures get here. Kind of like with memes. But yes, this room is handled by the Estonian Physics Students Society. And the name says physics, but we also have our buddies, the chemists and material scientists, some computer science guys, and our society is the one that keeps the student life going in this building. So we take care of new students, we organize lots of events, and so on. So this was our little tour of the Physicum. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you the next autumn. Bye!
Tere, my name is Hazar. I'm a master's student of analytical chemistry, and welcome to Chemicum. What's here in Chemicum? So Chemicum is the home to University of Tartu's Institute of Chemistry. So this building has been over for 10 years and has been funded by Estonian government as part of the research infrastructure projects. So to get here, it's 20 minutes by bus from the city center, or you could do some walking for 30 minutes if you prefer some exercise. So I will not make this intro longer, and let's take a look. Okay, so now we're here at the lobby of Chemicum. So you can see right here, it's very open and very spacious, and I think you can see about everything from here. So you can see the library, and then you can also see the cafeteria and some rooms here. And so let's take a walk and show where we're headed. If we need some help with something, or we want to locate something that we're not sure where it is, we can ask for the information desk. Okay, now we're here at the Chemicum library. So what can you find here? So everything chemistry related resources, so books, journals, newsletters, you can find it here. And if you're also looking for online resources, we also have PCs upstairs, and if you don't have a PC, you can always access UT's Wi-Fi network, so there would be no problem for you. So like I've said, with a Chemicum library, you have access to different kinds of chemistry-related resources. So here you can see that there are numerous amounts of computers where you can do some last-minute assignments perhaps, or access the UT network, or if you don't have any PC, you can always use the Wi-Fi network, which is free for the University of Tartu students, and it's very fast, so you don't have to worry about it. So here at Chemicum, we are proud to present and recognize our notable university alumni and professors that made significant contributions to the scientific community as well as the society. So here we present to you some notable professors and alumni of the university. One of those is Wilhelm Oswald. So if you know Wilhelm Oswald, he's a scientist, a chemist who was working with chemical kinetics and chemical equilibria, and he won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1909. So there you go. Now we enter the Chemicum Auditorium. So you can see here where our classes mostly take place. So here you can see that there are a lot of seats that are very comfortable and very spacious. And here we are encouraged to participate in learning discussions with the different students and different teachers. So that is in order to promote stimulated learning and just do some brainstorming. Okay, so we're now here at the most important area of the Chemicum building. So far we've discussed all these places, but we haven't gone to the most important. Chemistry is nothing without the laboratory, right? So before we enter the lab, always safety first. So let's take a look inside of the teaching lab. What I like here in the teaching lab is that they have this complete facilities where students can engage in different kinds of experiments. So here you can do simple chemical reactions, or you could also work with the laboratory's big guns. So you can see that there are lots of fancy equipment right here where students can do their experiments, their chemical analysis. And let's take a look at one of them. So how are you doing?
Hi, thank you.
Yeah.
And you?
I'm good. So what is this? Can you tell me something about?
This is a chromatogram, and we are doing a specific analysis here. So I'm waiting for the results.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
And here,
Hello.
hi. What are you doing?
I'm doing gas chromatography.
Wow. And you're doing some analysis right there?
Yes, yes.
What I like about Chemicum's teaching lab personally is that aside from its big facility, you can also see that we have very expansive views from the outside. So it feels like the area is very breathable. But just to remember not to inhale any chemical fumes from your experiments. We have fume hoods and vacuum vents for that, okay? So from the teaching labs, we now go to some research labs. So one of University of Tartu's main research labs here is the Nmr Lab in Chemicum. So like I've said before, this is one of the university's big guns. So what can we do here? So for applications, when we do some analysis, chemical analysis, we want to identify a particular let's say molecule, organic molecule, sorry for the technical jargons, but yeah, here you can see this big magnetic instrument, and you can, with this instrument, you can elucidate some chemical structures, identify specific compounds that you want to purify or isolate, and that's it. We're at the second most important area of Chemicum, so we're hungry, so we need food. So let's take a look at the cafeteria, or what we like to call it, the coffee. Yeah, hope I said it right. So here you can see that the area is very spacious, and you can have a lot of comfortable chairs to sit on and do some chit chat with your classmates and do some assignments again. And in terms of the food, they have a wide selection, so whatever you need, they have it, from main course, vegan options, pastries, desserts, soups, you name it. Also beverages, and not to mention, it's very cheap. So food here costs around €5 in general, so that's a pretty good deal. So that's it for me. This was Chemicum. My name is Hazar, and see you soon here in Tartu. Bye.
Dear future students, welcome to Tarto and tour of Biomedicum. This building is home for Faculty of Medicine, and all medical, dentistry, physiotherapy, and pharmacy students have at least for once have visited here.
We're glad to have you along our tour in Biomedicum. Oh, and we forgot to mention, this is Ege, and I'm a fourth-year medical student.
And I'm Efe.
And now we are in the Atrium, where all departments look at this beautiful sunlight. And also in New Year's Eve, it gets decorated beautifully. Now, let's move on to the big auditorium. And now we're in the big auditorium, where many of the lectures happen. However, even if you won't have any lectures in this room, I'm sure you'll have at least one big exam.
Apart from lectures and exams, there are different scientific conferences and nice activities happening here.
Now, let's move on to the practical teaching classes. After all, I feel like studying all of this all over again.
I got you covered.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to our library. Here, you will find many different resources, medical textbooks, journal articles, and at the backside, you can have access to online databases. And surely you will find yourself cramming for the tests here.
And now, we're in one of the practical teaching classes, the Microbiology Lab. Here, we get to stain different microorganisms and then look at them under the light microscope to see their structure and their disease-causing mechanisms, to learn more about them. At the end of this corridor, we have a nice balcony where you can have a great view of Tartu University Hospital,
also known as Clinicum. Here, after third year, we move on to the hospital to continue our bedside teaching. And now we're here downstairs where Biomedicum cafeteria and cloakroom is situated.
Also, the main nutrient for students, caffeine, is here.
Now we're in Schmidt-Keskos, or Schmidt Center, where we have the newest teaching classes in Biomedicum. Here we also have many different lectures, practicals, and it's very comfy to have lectures here. And this is all from our trip. Thank you.
Wait, You forgot one of the most interesting places in Biomedicum, the Dissection Halls. Let's go. Welcome to the Dissection Halls, also known as Lahangusal. Here, first-year medical students learn more about human anatomy and get to practice on real cadavers. Apart from serving as a dissection hall, here you can see unique specimens of the collection of our anatomy department. And this marks the end of our tour. Thank you for your patience. And maybe we'll see you here next autumn. Bye!
Hi everyone, welcome to the Institute of Technology. My name is Artemi and I'll be your guide today. So this is the first room when you enter the building. Here you can leave your coat, go grab a snack, or go straight to the classroom. We are now in the biggest auditorium in the building, room 121. Here you're going to have your first info session where you're going to meet your course mates, fellow science and technology students, and program director. And here, after 3 years of hard work, you're going to defend your thesis. Institute of Technology is an interesting place. Here, on one floor, you can meet plant biologist and also robotics specialist. Let's start with the plants, shall we? Welcome to the plant paradise. Here we grow some common plants in ideal conditions, ideal humidity, ideal temperature, ideal dark light cycle, and all in the name of science. When the plants are ready, we transfer them to the gas exchange chamber. So let's take a look at that. Here you see our miracle machine, or state-of-the-art device, which was designed and built in the Institute of Technology. This device allows researchers to check how different mutations affect the gas exchange in the plants, and in the nutshell, how we can save fresh water in agriculture. So we are now in robotics wing. Here, researchers think of different things. For example, how to make online shopper better by making robots take the shape of your body so you can see how it fits. Or how robots can mix your drink or a cup of coffee. Or even more, how soft robots, which mimic biology, can revolutionize future medicine. When doing biology experiments, you first need to sterilize things, your equipment, as well as growth medias in this machine called autoclave. And afterwards, when you're doing the experiments, usually they need cold temperature. That's why we always take this slice from the ice machine. So we are now in a safety cabinet room. Here, researchers work with the cell culture line, which are very fragile and need to be held in the sterile conditions. Already in the first semester, you will get a practice and work with them here in the safety cabinets. We are in the microscope room where we study yeast cells and their cell cycle with the help of fluorescent microscope. As you can see, you can follow the cells from the time course and different positions, and then you get a lot of data which you further analyze on the computer. Okay guys, if your first thought is UV light, then you are right. And what you see here, these are DNA bands, the same DNA as in every living organism. And if you are wondering why you are not fluorescent in the solarium, it's very easy. You don't see the DNA itself, but the dye, which is connected to the DNA. We are in the molecular biology lab right now, and I'm going to show you different devices and different things we do here. For example, this machine is called Centrifuge, and it's basically help us precipitate samples and get rid of the excessive liquids. And this one here is called micropipette, and its sole purpose is to transfer liquids from one tube to another with a precision to microliter. And now I'm going to show you the device you all heard of, the Pcr machine. These are the PCR samples, and we all did the test for corona, and the machine looks like that. You put sample inside, close the lid, and press start. As simple as that. Welcome to the home to the one and only Estonian iGEM team, where students work on their project, bond, have fun, and achieve incredible results. You, future science and technology student, can join the team already in the first course. While doing the project, they don't only sit in the lab, They also collaborate with different teams and also do some public events and even create the art pieces. We're in a so-called shaker room. So you've seen the plants paradise, and this one is microorganism paradise. So these are here yeast cells, and which grew overnight in ideal conditions with ideal temperature and ideal shaking to make sure that every cell gets enough oxygen. And these here are centrifuges. So you've seen one on the tabletop, right? But this one is much bigger and can do much higher speeds. On the 4th floor, there is also the office of Science and Technology Program Director Ilona Faustova. If you ever need any help, the door is always open for you. Hey, am I interrupting?
Yeah, no.
So here students can always get help, support, and brainstorm their great ideas. Good luck, guys. If Shaker is a microorganism paradise, then this is Paradise 2.0. Here you can control everything connected to the growth of microorganisms, from the input of fresh media to their pH and temperature and different gases, and you can monitor all that stuff on the computer live. So, we are in the proteomics core facility of the University of Tartu. Here the protein samples are analyzed and determined. And they do that not only for the university, but also for customers abroad and even to the cheese farms. Sounds cool, right? And this machine here is HPLC, which can help you determine which chemicals are in solutions. So we are in the classrooms where you're gonna have your seminars, lectures, or even robotics practical sessions. Our tour is coming to an end. But don't forget to apply and join our science and technology family.
Hi, my name is Aylin. I'm an international student ambassador from Azerbaijan. I live in a Ratsusa 22 dormitory, and today we are going to shoot a home tour for you. It's our common area. We have tennis tables here. We also have a coffee machine here and the printer. It's the place where we hang out with our friends and play tennis. And here you can check your skin temperature. You should stand here, and your skin temperature will appear on the screen. And we also have a screen here where you can read all the instructions about this dormitory and read some more information about other residence halls by just clicking. And it's our bicycle storage. We need our access chip for entering this area. It's very comfortable to have a safe place for keeping our bicycles, scooters, or whatever we have. It's really convenient to live in this dorm. Our doors are also electrical, so we don't need to touch anything for entering the building. And in the lobby we also have a 24/7 reception, so we can ask for help anytime we need. And also on the ground floor we have 6 rooms for students with reduced mobility, and it's our laundry room. Again, we need our access chip for entering this room. We have 6 washing and 6 dyeing machines here. Using the machines is free, but we need to bring our own washing detergent. Let's move on to the elevator. Again, we need our access chip. And now I'm going to show you my apartment. Each apartment has 3 twin rooms, a common area where we keep our shoes and coats, a toilet and a bathroom. And also we have our kitchen here. It's a small place, but it's pretty convenient for students, and we have almost everything necessary here. Let's get inside my room. I live alone in a room for 2 because I think it's complicated to share your room with someone. You have 2 beds here, 2 study desks, some bookshelves, and a big window which makes the room a cozier place. That's all for today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful for you. See you in Tartu.